Johor Bahru, Malaysia.
Nicholas Lim, Freedom, Singapore.
Do Wai Hong, XY, Singapore.
Ng Wei Pong, NWP, Johor Bahru, Malaysia.
Daryl Cole, Ice Ice Ice, Singapore.
So there we have it then, that's Team Zenith, and we've got a lot of commotion here in the lobby. So we'll get back though on track. It's Team Zenith, Ice Ice Ice, X Freedom, Ice Yamate and XY. Very creative, innovative strategies. They're dangerous, especially in a best of one. We'll see what they're able to do, and I believe now we can also introduce their opponents, which is going to be, well, let's just let the camera, look at that. What's going on here?
Happiness, that's what's going on here.
It is a lot of happiness. We can go also though to Invictus Gaming.
And IG's Ferrari 430 joins us now, along with our good pal Josh, who's going to help us translate once again. I think I want to start with asking about the epic battle from earlier today, how they're feeling now, and how you're feeling moving forward.
就问你们刚才跟 DK 打完，然后有一个破纪录的场的比赛，然后打完了感觉怎么样？
那场打完之后非常的累吧，因为打了非常的久，高地守了特别久。打完之后的感觉应该是比较好的吧，翻了盘，不过第三盘又输了之后就很遗憾了。
So he says the one really super long game that was exhausting. They spent a long time defending, and ultimately they got the win there, and that was awesome. It felt great, but then they ended up losing the third game, so that was sort of sad.
What have they been doing? I'll just ask you, what have you been doing since to get rested up and try to get your energy back?
那跟 DK 打完之后，就有没有做什么来休息或者补充？
我们去在选手休息室吃了点东西，喝了点水，然后讨论接下去该怎么打。
They spent some time in the players' resting lounge area, and they had some drinks and snacks, and then they spent some time discussing how to approach the next match.
Which is cool, because we got to show people backstage earlier, so that's really neat. So looking ahead to Zenith, what are you looking out for?
那你们马上就要打 Zenith， 打 Zenith 最重要的看点是什么？
因为我们跟他是 BO1 单打，BO1 单淘输了的话就剩下的比赛就打不了了，就淘汰了，就大家都会全力以赴。
He says the biggest thing is simply the fact that it's a best of one, so if you lose, you're done. So it's just they're going to have to go all out.
It's a lot of pressure. Ferrari 430, thank you very much. We'll let you get some more rest as much as possible in the 2 minutes before the match actually starts. And Josh, thank you again.
Wong Hock Chuan, Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia.
邓宏达 ，Face， 广东 China。
洛菲茨，法语，武汉 China。
江城 YYF, 上海 China.
陈瑶，周，湖南 China.
Invictus Gaming, last year's champions, Chon, Zhou, Faith, YYF and Ferrari 430. They just witnessed a team very close to them in terms of skill and practice and dedication. LGD China, who came third last year, get knocked out of the tournament. Hopefully they're not feeling too much pressure. Hopefully it won't happen to them if they play their game, because they are the favourites going into this one, but Zenith are a scary team to play, just like Team Liquid, so it does feel very familiar going into the second lower bracket game here as the previous one.
Definitely, I think this could go either way, just like the last game we just saw, and I'm sort of hooked on going with the underdog again. Right now I just feel the advantage of having won a game in the loser bracket and being on top of things and going in as the underdog is really benefiting these teams. We saw it with Liquid, and now we see Zenith go up against IG. I'm going to put my money on Zenith.
That's a big tall order. I don't know. I mean, I think if Zenith has to win, they have to be something innovative. They brought the Invoker before. If they can bring something new that we haven't seen, let's say a Bristleback, for example. A hero that we haven't seen so far and I really like. So, I don't know. I'm just waiting for them to surprise me.
Yeah, I think if Zenith just goes with traditional picks, they're going to lose out to IG, who is the more experienced and I think more mechanically skilled team. But if they bring something new, I would love to see a Bristleback, as Bruno said. I think they can take it home.
All right, well, we'll see what they do. Maybe it's all about the draft, and that's where we're going now. So, here it is, Invictus Gaming versus Zenith. Over to the hall.
Team Zenith versus defending champions, IG.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Benaroya Hall, home of the Seattle Symphony. It's time for our final best of one of the day. It's Team Invictus Gaming versus Zenith. Loser goes home. Zenith versus IG. And we seems we have the microphone.
Thank you, Val, for bringing my man LD's audio back up. Appreciate it. Of course, I am Luminous and LD. We are casting the last match of the day.
IG versus Zenith, the International 2 defending champions. They've looked mortal so far this tournament. But boy, if there's a team that you'd hate to have to face this early, it's both of these teams. International 2 defending champions on one side, a team that you have no idea what they're going to do, massive individual talent on Zenith's side. And I do want to say, Lumi, Ice, still wearing his pants.
Turn to pick. They won the last game without pants or with pants, so maybe the boxer strat is.
The boxer strat is so 2012. This is 2013. In with the new.
Okay, fair enough. Maybe his boxer is not stylish today.
Yeah, we'll have to see. For the time being, though, the bans, the draft now well underway. IG actually banning out Wisp early on. They don't want to get cheesed too hard, and to be honest, a Chinese team giving away Wisp, I would almost just call it getting cheesed because they're not very good at dealing with it, and there's usually not much coming back for them. But for Team Zenith, first pick went to IG. They picked up a Chen. Now Zenith banning out a Weaver, a Naga. The reply from IG will be to pick up a Rubik, and now we're well into the second stage of bans. What are you seeing here?
Well, they do pick up the Naga Siren, which was very impressive to me in their win. Sure, the song setup wasn't as used as I thought they would, but what impressed me was they actually had her get a Portmanship right in level 1. In fact, had Yamate pull him Tango and Salve, and then he was like the early game frontline tank. Now, it's going to be a little bit harder to do against Chen Creeps as well as the Rubik Lift, but if you initiate on her, you're not going to get a kill.
Yeah, there's a lot of heroes that aren't easy to go on. In fact, all three of Zenith's heroes are either very tanky or very elusive. So, and Darkseer's both. So nobody's an easy kill here for IG. They've gone for a Chen Rubik opening, and I wonder how they're going to play it. Because when we've seen a lot of other teams go for this, I think LG International, the most notable team, it's very early aggression. By that 5-minute mark, they're well underway with their first push or their first smoke gank. Will IG use it the same way, or is this just picking up a Chen and then going for a very solid mid to late game?
I feel like this is picking what they're used to. This really takes me back about 6 or 7 months ago when IG was just smashing everybody. They love to do with their Chen. Rubik is a really commonly seen hero. It's something that they're very familiar with. Knock down a couple towers early on, use that tower gold, and basically fuel your supports, fuel your semi-carries, and get more. So I think we might see a Lifestealer very soon coming out from Invictus Gaming, despite having Weaver, despite having Naga Siren on the other team.
The other thing that really interests me is that Zenith actually banned out the Tinker here. So Zenith's good call, by the way. Lifestealer is the choice. But Zenith, the team that loves to run Tinker, they banned it, and they went for XY's Darkseer instead. I love his Tinker, but his Darkseer's been super stable lately, and it's been a key to their victory. So they get that. IG does pick up Lifestealer. Either Zhou or YYF, one of their best heroes for sure. And I think Zhou has been the player on IG who struggled the most this tournament. He's gotten caught out a lot. He used to be a very safe carry player, and he's still a very good one, but his positioning hasn't been the best. So giving him a hero like Lifestealer, there's more margin for error. I like that if that's the direction they choose to go.
Yeah, Zenith right now needs to pick up a little bit better counter push. Darkseer sort of is one with the threat of a vacuum wall. Naga, again, sort of a hero with things like Illusion Riptide, but you really don't have something big like Illuminate. I mean, Invictus Gaming, in theory, could just go Syllabear and then Juggernaut and just push your towers.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Zenith here, I feel like you could almost go for a Keeper of the Light and a Visage. Oh, no, sorry, Visage is actually banned. But Keeper of the Light's an option here, and then they can pick up that secondary support. They've got Naga Net to initiate in the tri-lane. Weaver will do well mid against everything IG's shown thus far, and you can put XY into the off lane or into the jungle. So if Zenith want to go that direction, I think Keeper of the Light would be a very solid pick.
Well, that's too boring.
That's too boring. So what are you thinking?
I don't know. Like they did Axe Solo in the past, although Axe against Lifestealer against Chen, not exactly where we... I mean...
We don't know how they'll be creative, but we know that the option for them is there. For IG, when they've gone Lifestealer in the past, before Lone Druid got changed, oftentimes it would be a Lone Druid follow-up. They get a dual core, Zhou gets the 1v1 Lone Druid matchup, and Lone Druid, we've seen Bulldog prove it, and a lot of other Lone Druid players, Lone Druid can do very well against the Darkseer. They now go for one of 430's flashier heroes, and a great way to do with the Weaver in particular in the Puck. Puck, when played perfectly, has been very hard to deal with in this tournament.
Yeah, we've seen S4 CS4 just kind of go
overwhelm
crazy.
his opponent.
Yeah, go crazy.
And I think we've seen a similar level of mid dominance at times from 430 when he played that Shadow Fiend mid against Liquid. He was unstoppable. So there's nobody who's a lane dominator for Zenith right now. I think a Puck mid could get out of control.
Well, we'll see. I mean, they're the standard picks, like a Queen of Pain. That's going to match up okay against Puck. They're kind of destructive picks against Puck. OD is banned out. OD is definitely one of them that can handle. I mean, historically, what are some heroes that just beats Puck hard?
Yeah, we've seen Queen of Pain can do all right. That mostly comes down to individual skill, but in the mid game, Queen of Pain is rather vulnerable to Puck. I think Templar Assassin is the one that stands out to me because when you have Refraction up, Puck has no way to really remove the Refraction charges. Once you hit, say, level 3 or even level 5, you just do too much damage. You can win the CS war. You can control runes pretty well with the traps, and ultimately a Tia getting farm as the game goes later is going to offer more than a Puck. So your RRG, or rather Zenith, I mean, Zenith has played, Ice could definitely play TA, but is it going to be an Invoker even here?
I mean, Invoker versus Puck, not the worst match for Invoker, but definitely not a favorable one. Zenith definitely respect the push. They pick up Jakiro, a great support for AoE defense against push. They also ban out the Juggernaut, whose healing ward has been fielding a lot of pushes lately. So, yeah, Zenith know what's coming to them.
It's time to put your chips on the table if you're Zenith. The last pick is now coming out. Alk was just banned by IG. And for Zenith, I think they'll go for another core here. To me, it looks like a Naga support, Jakiro support, but they do have their options open.
Again, whatever they pick need to do need to have some AoE spells. Good for against defense. Good to set up with your Naga, Sleep, as well as Darkseer. You still want to keep that combo alive. So far, you have great AoE. Song, Vacuum, Ice Path, Macro Pyre. You just need something else, anything else, and that should be good.
Yeah, there's a Magnus in the pool. There is a Tidehunter. Now, if you flash back, I don't know, a year ago, Zenith, there was one game they played, actually in the Beyond the Summit World Tour. This is, again, going back over a year, where they went Tidehunter, Disruptor, back when nobody played Disruptor, Naga, Darkseer, and they just 5-man, basically cheesed their opponents, took the game in 20 minutes. That style's kind of fallen out of favor, but is Zenith want to run a Tidehunter? I mean, he does okay, even against a hero like Puck. Slark!
Okay.
You knew something special was coming, and apparently Slark is what the doctor ordered.
Well, let's actually kind of examine how this hero fit into the draft. It's not a hero with any AoE defense. I mean, let's not count Dark Pact. It's not really an AoE defense spell. It's not a hero that could really take advantage of your big combo. So what exactly doing here? It doesn't beat Slark mid either.
Yeah, Slark does okay against Puck, though, because you can always just pop Dark Pact if he's about to jump you, and then it immediately removes the silence. You can easily get out of most ganks. He also does okay against Lifestealer, because you can leap away, you can remove open wounds. He's not bad against Chen creeps, because he's very elusive, and again, has Dark Pact.
It's just hard for him to run in.
He's just an annoying hero in general.
Right, he's annoying, but like Weaver already fills that role, so are they picking it for something? And I just don't see what that something is.
He lanes pretty well against Puck. I think what he gives you is Rubik and Chen are squishy mid-game supports. If they get isolated, they can just be overwhelmed. And Zenith, we've seen when they do their best, it's when the game gets chaotic and when they just snowball out of control. So you've Slark, you've Weaver, and you've got a good team fight to fall back on. They just have an array of options here. Ganking and team fighting. It's a pretty open draft. What is IG going to do? That's my question.
Yeah, I wonder if IG still have nightmares getting beat down by Slark, because last time that was, I think, Team Liquid Slark back in China. But
Morphling,
so
the beast from the east at the International 2 is making a return here. It was something that many of these Chinese teams turned to in the past, and IG certainly know how to use their Morphling. How are they going to lane it, Lumi? Will it be a defensive tri-lane morph? Does it maybe even take over the mid lane? What do you think?
It's a little bit awkward. Perhaps you could set up basically a 1v1 between the Morphling and the Darkseer, and then go some sort of offensive dual Rubik Lifestealer kind of. It's awkward, but it doesn't die. So
I mean, if you really examine this draft for Zenith, they actually have no silences and no true stuns aside from Ice Path. So getting a Morphling means there's not many great ways to prevent him from escaping. He can always replicate out. There's only an Ice Path to stop it. Even if you net him, he can still do that. And I mean, he can also strength morph. To me, this morph is going to be very annoying to kill.
Yeah, you're forced to get up some really good disabling items, like a Sacrifice on your Darkseer, or maybe even a Basher on your Slark. You need something to lock down Morphling, and those something, it's not going to be coming anytime soon, because those are big items.
Our final elimination match of day number 2, well underway now. We'll get into the introductions. The loser of this match goes home, finishes outside of the top 8 at the 9th through 12th position. The winner guaranteed to be in the money, and on the dire side, we have the International 2 defending champions, starting with Chuan on the Chen. Zhou, on the Morph lane, 430 on the solo mid Puck, most likely Faith, the support Rubik, and then YYF on the Lifestealer. And on the Radiant side, Team Zenith, a bit of a wild card, a bit of a surprising team, hard to play against, hard to draft against, very unpredictable. Ice, the Jakiro, XY the Slark, towards the middle lane, Ice, solo mid Naga.
Yeah.
X Freedom, support / jungling Darkseer, and that leaves Yamate on your carry Weaver heading to the safe lane.
I'm going to look over to the booth and see if it's still Zenith or is it Team Dignitas, because 3 or 4 months ago, this is what they like to do.
In a lot of ways, they are very similar teams. Dignitas and Zenith, they'll often go for an extra hero that scales with farm, but they'll do it in a way that they feel makes it very hard to punish. And when you have such strong solos, a Naga mid is a very hard to kill hero. Weaver in the safe lane and Darkseer in the jungle. I mean, there's nobody who's an easy kill. So it's going to be an off-lane Slark. Can IG do anything to this guy?
They're not going to kill him. I think what IG is looking for is a quick smoke gank, and then you look for a push. Because if you look at the counter push, especially the early game counter push from Zenith, there's nothing. Like, if there's 2 Chen creeps sitting in a tower, like, how do you stop that?
Yeah, in the early game, there's not that much, but it's a solo mid Naga. Riptide's going to get leveled up real quickly. The pulls are not being contested by IG, so Jakiro will get levels. I honestly don't think Zenith should be that worried about push, because they've got a lot of AoE, and IG is not contesting their early levels when they're weakest at stopping the push. The top lane, they could lose a tier 1, even a tier 2. Slark's not a good counter pusher by his own, but I think Zenith are fine with losing that. As long as you get levels on your jungle Darkseer, I'll trade Chen levels for Darkseer levels and farm any day.
Well, we'll see how IG's going to play it out. Let's look at the mid lane here. Ice dropping the Riptide against 430. I think the matchup advantage actually goes to the Naga Siren. Her base damage is quite low for a melee hero, but at the same time, her 6 base armor and a poor man shield just basically means she's immune to whatever the P-shooter Ferrari's got for him.
Yeah, every single auto attack doing reduced damage. Poor man shield is a really strong item to get in a melee versus raid matchup, and here he goes. Aggression from Ice, no Riptide yet, just ushering 430 off the lane. Because he went poor man shield and then into some pooled regen, he does have to farm up a bottle. 430, he actually went for a null talisman as well early. So Ice, off the bat, 5-0. Mid lane's looking good. The off lane Slark of XY hits level 2, hasn't died yet. IG again can just zone him out a little bit maybe, but can't really kill him without Chuan's help. And then the last lane, YYF is the off-lane Lifestealer. This to me is, I think Zenith have a slight edge here because he's going to have a really hard time in this 1v1.
Yeah, he always has to respect the gank coming out here from Ice. And of course, his leveling up his open wounds, or in fact using his open wounds, is not going to be too effective finding kills. What is a surprise to me, a little bit at least, is XY's skill build up top. Essence Shift is a nice kind of mid-lane build when you're dealing against melee hero, but he won't have his spell to run away if he gets initiated on right now. There you go.
They'll lift it, but notice that XY, he's held onto his leap. IG trying to body block him a little bit. When you're trying to gank a Slark, if you can just position yourself in front of his path of retreat, then he leaps and he doesn't actually really get away. But here comes YYF picking up a regen rune. Now doing a little bit of chip damage to Ice. I mean, overall, I think I give Zenith a slight edge here because their offlane is going to be much harder to kill. Whereas the Lifestealer is pretty vulnerable to Weaver. Not necessarily now, but when Yamate hits, say, level 5 to 7, by himself, he can zone that Lifestealer out of lane.
Yeah, or when Yamate picks up like phase boot or any type of boot upgrade, he's going to just beat YYF pretty easily. And of course, if you look at the level advantage, we have Yamate almost hitting level 4 and YYF not even 3 yet.
Yeah, and you can see the harassment really paying off here. A lot of that towards YYF. So then the big question and the X factor for IG is Chuan. And so far Chuan, level 3, 2.5 minutes in, now stacking a pretty big cap. He's having a really powerful start on Chen. And it's a very different style than what we saw from the Chen in the previous games, where it goes for a lot of ganks early. It could end up very underleveled. That's not going to be the case for Chuan. Sends a Harpy Stormcrafter mid, trying to slow down Ice. Chuan's going to have a fast start, and he's really looking for a Wildkin here. If he gets one, that's going to be a very fast level 5. Still no luck. Yeah. No Wildkin here. This is pretty bad luck for a Chen.
I mean, at worst, you're stacking for your Puck, for example. You're stacking for your Lifestealer and your Morphling. So if he doesn't find a big camp for himself, it's still not too bad.
The thing, though, is X Freedom doesn't need a Wildkin. He just goes and kills the big stack anyway, as you can see. So, again, I still think Zenith just advantages in general. Farm-wise, you do have a free farm Morphling in the mid-game. I still feel they really lack lockdown. They'll need something like an Orchid or a Scythe to gank him, but for now, Zenith getting more off the lanes, just getting more in general. And although it's a slight lead in terms of gold, the experience is pretty significant.
Yep. IG trying to find a kill up top here. XY still being zoned out away from experience range, which is a very, very important thing. In fact, Faith is out-leveling him. This kind of defense dueling up top, doing a decent job keeping up the farm and experience. I wonder when IG is going to start their offense. It seems like they're going to take it passively early. No early game pushes from our Chen just yet. And I think they're just looking to win in their lanes, which so far they're doing okay, but it's not really impressive victories anyway.
Okay, look at Ice Ice Ice. He's a solo mid Naga, and generally when you're a support Naga, you don't get that many levels. But already he's got a point mirror image. He pops it and he sent one towards the neutrals. He knows what Chuan's up to, and he's already trying to deny that farm. Potentially, this could end up being a huge Ice 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 stack.
Well, I mean, Ice 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 is... I wonder exactly what he's going to do. I mean, what the team uses Naga for, because you don't see solo mid Naga anymore. Is she going to be your
Bottom
Radiance?
lane, YYF caught in an Ice Pad, didn't rage in time, now he will, but taking a lot of damage.
There's Ice Pad.
The Swarm's still on him, his armor's dropping, this could be first blood. It is, and it goes to Zenith. It's like we said though, this is just a very hard matchup for Lifestealer. Lifestealer does pretty well against Weaver in the mid game if he's got a support or another hero that helps him, like a Puck or a Storm, but in the laning stage, that's just a matchup where Lifestealer can't do that.
For the newer players out there, very intricate play from Ice. He started his dual breath, cancelled it, baited out the rage from our Lifestealer, and then used it after the rage is over. If he did not do that, they would not have got the kill. So
look at this. It's Occupy Dire Jungle from Ice Ice Ice. 3 illusions. He's really shutting down Chuan, who has hit level 5, but the next creep clamps will be blocked. Even though it hasn't really had a huge effect, the potential is there, but now top lane. Look at the body block. XY's got to leap. He leaps right over the ridge. Still alive. And the Zap doesn't have the splash that he needed. Fate unable to find the kill. Big plays.
At the very least.
Now, mid lane, 430. He's got a coil.
They're not
going to go. Needs one more orb to do it.
I mean, seemed like he was at 400 HP, but he's really at like 600 because of the poor man's shield, because of the the high base armor. So 430, not going for that one.
Now the Naga Illusion's into the mid lane, just driving 430 back, trying to mess up his bottle charges as well. The 6-minute rune spawning soon. And we haven't seen Chuan too active yet, but he's level 5 and he's smoked up mid. Maybe looking to make a play, but there's no one to make a play on, because Ice 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 back to base, and soon to hit level 6. And if these first ganks fail because of Psalm, then IG are going to fall pretty far behind.
Yeah, again, they're not getting any towers. I felt like they could have done something at least, but maybe it goes back to what you said. The counter push isn't that impressive. 430, trying to check the top rune. It's going to miss because it's Darkseer bot the region.
Yeah. Now for Fix Freedom, straight into the jungle, Soul Rain up, a work towards a mech. That's generally what you expect. So back to your question, what is Ice 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 going to go for? If you want to go for a utility semi-carry Naga, we've seen some treads into drums, Diffusal Blade. Ice Ice Ice, though, he's again a great micro player. I wouldn't be shocked if he tried to go into a Radiance and they try to take this pretty late game.
99% of the games I say Radiance Naga, best Naga, because he gives you a ton of slip push, he gives you a ton of farming room, but you are dealing with a Morphling, so if you get a Radiance and he makes a replica of you, he steals a Radiance for free. So a little bit dicey, but we have seen definitely in teams in the past says, don't care, you have an Illusion Maker, we're still going to go Radiance. We'll see.
Meanwhile, Yamate, back at the bottom lane, Lifestealer for YYF has abandoned the lane, just using open wounds to farm in the jungle. And to be honest, I think this is the right choice because Zenith, not the most ridiculous push, they don't have a Chen, they do have a Jakiro, no points of Liquid Fire yet. If Zenith wanted to take a tier 1, they could, but all YYF does if he stays bottom is risks dying. Instead, he'll get some guaranteed farm in the jungle. It's the safer choice for him.
IG Chuan, you talked about his level, still not hitting 6. Not really mounting and push up top. You see Faith waiting on the wing, trying to get that lift, but I mean, at this point, XY should be able to get out of just about any gank. I just don't feel like IG's doing enough so far.
Yeah, I mean, the XY is falling a bit behind in levels, but he's just proving to be kind of a nuisance because Faith's spending a lot of time trying to zone him out of the lane. He's not just constantly stacking and pulling. As a result, we see our Jakiro already level 5, only 4 on Faith.
Back in the mid lane, Ice 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 eating a couple of nukes, but still very healthy in terms of HP. I mean, goes back to the question that I asked during the draft. What are you actually picking the Slark for? Talked about him as having the ability to be annoying and maybe kill a support or two in the early game, but that relies on you having level and farm, which he doesn't have.
Yeah.
So is he just picked for the off lane?
Yeah, I'm not really sure. I thought we were going to see a support Naga, a Slark mid, and then a Darkseer in the jungle.
Right.
I guess they decided they could get greedy and still get something on XY, and hey, if you leave Darkseer in the jungle, he's going to farm incredibly fast, and he is level 7, so I feel like the Slark is just some elusive hero that lets Darkseer give them the jungle advantage.
Right.
Maybe, and so far it is.
So far things going on.
Meanwhile, Yamate is rushing a BKB, Ogre Club up, YYF TP's into the bottom lane, 430 roaming around, but a very clever ward from Zenith, spotting out this movement. And meanwhile, Ice Ice Ice, the shenanigans, constant harassment and just annoyance from these illusions. Not riptiding the creeps, but drawing the way back so his illusions can do extra damage to the tower. He's got Song, and they've got some high levels on these utility heroes. X-Freedom straight to the secret shop. I'm pretty sure Zenith are looking to defend this. If they do force it, IG could be in a lot of trouble. Look for the Song. There we go. Catches 3. XY getting ready. Unwinding with the ice path. On to 2. Chuan in trouble. Faith down. 1 to fall. Now Zhou on the run. They want Chuan as well. This is going to be 2. Well executed. No way out for Chuan. One more Sakuchi. Where's that follow-up? Not coming yet. Actually going to live.
Chuan survives with like 30 HP. Good attacking from 430, killing that bug. It was pretty impressive TP early on, but they only got like one kill off.
Yeah, if they had Macro Pyre, I think that's 2 kills. But Ice, he just hit level 6 now. And honestly, for IG, Zenith used a lot to defend.
I think IG won that because they only lost the support. YYF's getting free farm bot, and Puck is now rotating back mid, and you're down a Song.
I mean, it looked amazing for Zenith, right? But in the end, they only could catch 2 in the ice path, and Chuan having so many early levels saved his life.
Yeah.
Hand of God as well. He made the difference.
Yeah. Well, YYF now putting a little bit of pressure on the bot lane. He's going to draw a TP score too. I think that particular push has basically resetted him. And now 430, one of the earliest rush
man,
win.
This is big. 59 CS. He's actually winning in terms of CS against Ice Ice Ice. And it's just credit to 430. Ice 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 using his illusions to try and slow down the jungle Chen, not focusing all his resources on the middle lane. So with an early blink, you've got Lifestealer bombs coming soon. You've got a Morphlane. And meanwhile, top lane, looks like XY does get picked off by 2. This is trouble for Zenith. If they, with Song down, they don't have many ways to counter-initiate. So if they get in trouble, they're probably dead.
Yep. Well, YYF is still jungling for now, but he's going to be waiting for his Infest cooldown. Once that's up, he's going to join in with the Puck. And here we go. We're going to see some Infest bombs.
There we go. Not spotted out by any kind of ward. Infest bomb from 430.
Weaver.
Will they bring any backup? Joe pushing the top lane. Yamate in trouble. Look for the leap. Blink silence now. Pop out. Surprise. It's me. I'm YYF. And you're dead. Easy kill.
Great game. The ice path came a split second too late, but that was just enough damage from IG picking him up. They really needed a kill on Weaver. Weaver, if you give him free farm, he's going to be a huge deal. And as for 430, he's going to try to be deadly.
Now bottom lane, TP in for the Morphling. Joe gonna defend. For now, 430 back to base. Looks like he missed the combo.
No, he didn't have mana for his orb, so
didn't have mana. Would have been cute. But Ice Ice Ice, he pushed bottom lane a bit. Okay, so if you're Zenith now, looking just sort of at the overall way the game's developing. In terms of farm, Morphling's getting free farm. Puck's got his big item that he needs to fight, and you've got a Lifesteal in the jungle. Zenith have this amazing team fight. I thought they were getting a lot more out of the lanes early, but you can see the grass starting to dip IG's way, and I guess my question is Zenith getting enough? I feel like they're in a bit of trouble here.
Yeah, it looked pretty good until the defense up top. I think Zenith has lost a lot of momentum, and they really can't farm as aggressively as they previously farmed. I mean, normally you say, 12 minutes in the game, my Weaver's king, nobody's really going to kill me. We just saw that happen in the mid lane. I really think that IG has somehow wrestled their way back in this game, despite only having 2 kills.
It's the strength of their draft, right? You pick up a Morphling, their lineup is very hard to kill. Like, even if Zenith do Ice Path them, they don't have that much burst. They'll almost certainly be able to replicate out. Now onto top lane, XY, Dark Pack's cooling down. He can't remove any stuns. He's got to leap in 17 seconds. He's trapped. He's in a lot of trouble. There's your Sentry Ward. Now the GG Tornado. XY will fall. And IG starting to remind you just a little bit of the International 2. It seems like everywhere they go and everything they do, it's working pretty well.
Yeah, they weren't as efficient as they used to be in the early game, but right now, where it really counts during the mid game, they're wrecking up a couple kills, getting a ton of levels. We see Arcane Boots being picked up on Faith. That's generally a huge item pickup. And of course, these guys are a lot more mobile. YYF being sent back to base. Look towards him to TP to the mid lane to join up with the Puck and set up yet another gank because everything's on cooldown now.
Yeah, kind of like how we've seen that Keeper Light recalling heroes around, just trying to be a little bit more efficient with their movement, take advantage of every hero ability. Well, actually TP bottom.
Again.
And here comes an Infest Bomb once again. It's already 13 minutes in, only 5 kills on the board. But if Yamate dies here, that's a huge pickoff. In fact, he's got a Mithril Hammer on the way. He needs this BKB to deal with the Infest Bombs. It's still not out, and 430 will clear the wave. Meanwhile, mid lane, onto Zhou, but can they do anything to this guy? There's just not much lockdown. He's low. He's really forcing it, though. A wave out, and again, there's just not a whole lot they can do about that.
Yeah, the 430 gank not really working out in the bot lane because it was daytime. Naga would have definitely seen him coming. Still has the Lifestealer infesting him. He's wasting a little bit of YYF's time, so even a self-smoke.
Here we go. They're going to go for round 2, and killing Yamate before his BKB is really big, because once he has it, that infest bomb won't work. Every time they kill Yamate, every time they slow down his BKB, they delay the next phase of the plan for Zenith. And here we go. Blink in. Infest bomb is out. And IG, it's surgical. Every time they gank, it works, and when Zenith try it, it's not.
Zenith is just not respecting IG's ganking power with the Blink Dagger. He got it first, even before his power treads. You just gotta farm, or not as farm as much, but just respect the ganking power. They don't, or Zenith, Yamate dies twice, and it's not looking good. BKB really delayed.
I think it's where, if you're Zenith, now it's happened to you twice, you'd like to see maybe one of these supports smoked up behind the Weaver, so he has just enough time to time-lapse out and maybe turn the fight around. That's where Ice could really come in handy, but for now, he's pushing in mid, he's working towards his next item, still no clear indication what direction he heads. It does feel like this game's going a bit later. There's no pressure from Zenith. They've got a great team fight lineup, but not finding any 5v5 engagements.
And look at
they may be forced into something more greedy like a Radiance build.
They're doing it again. Infest, says.
And there is a Radiant Ward here. I think that was spotted, but in 430 comes Yamate on the hunt. Yeah, they know. They know. 430 in trouble. Trapped. Here comes the bugs. YYF jumping out. Now trying to do some work. Phase shift from 430, heading to the right. He's going to fall. Zenith, the third time, they were not burnt. They anticipated.
Where's the pounce? The pounce hits. YYF on the run. He does have 10 charges on the magic run. Needs rage, though.
He's got rage soon. He's going to dodge, and now Ice says, "You're coming back, buddy. Come with me." And he'll trade him down. Zenith, I mean, that's what they got to do. They have to just anticipate the movements, and in that case, there was no anticipation required. The ward did all the work.
Yeah, they had all the warding, they have the sight, and to be honest, it's like you say, you need to park a supporter to behind Yamate. He's a very easy and clear gank target. You turn around, suddenly 2 core dead for IG, no pressure all over the map. Now, there's one thing they need to worry about is Zoe, because he is still free farming. 2,000 go after Perseverance. We're going to see a very quick Linken's variance. Sooner or later, Zoe's going to be applying pressure on your towers, and I know LD and I have brought it up, but I need to bring it up one more time. There's just no stuns on this team. How do you stop the split pushing of Zoe, especially with the Linken's sphere on top?
I mean, it's where it wouldn't even shock me if Yamate, as maybe his second or even his third item, went for a Sight Device, if the Slark of XY went for an Orchid, but with XY, he's just not farming much, so I don't know if he'll be the one to pick it up, but Darkseer Sight Device could be an option. For now, though, it looks like they just want to focus on their mid-game team fight, so they go for a BKB on X Freedom, he'll pick up an Ogre Club, and while that's happening, Ice slowing down the jungling of IG. It seems like Zenith are basically saying, we're not going to try and win those mid-game fights, we're going to angle more, or we're not going to try and rush the Sight Device and gank your Morphling, we're just going to focus on mid-game team fight dominance.
Well, it looks like Rubik says, can I get a free Sakuchi, please?
Get me? No, he's actually going to steal the Swarm. Time-lapse.
He uses it there? That's very Dragon
That was
Ball
cute
CS.
for Faith, but not resetting the spell steal there.
I think he expected to get the Sakuchi and he wanted to use it immediately to go forward for a lift, but got the wrong spell.
Honestly, Sakuchi is one of those spells that you steal like 9 times out of 10 because it's the one spell that Weaver's constantly spamming, but actually, to be honest, just some bad luck there not getting it. It's a big spell though. If he gets Sakuchi, then you don't have to rely on your test bombs, but look at this harassment from Ice.
He's just so annoying on that hero.
And he's just parked mid. He's got Son of the Siren, but he might have overextended. Blink, silence the fly. They've got a lift. They'll throw him back in. They need to chain stun this. Stomps are there, and Chuan delivered. Slam dunk from the former basketball player.
Wow. That's a nice one, I guess. And now they're going to push down the tier 1 mid tower. Nice surge up here for the creep wave as that's slowing it down a little bit. There's a kind of a mediocre push coming in. They should get this particular tower. With that said, though,
there's no buyback on Ice. This tower is dead. And IG, I mean, ultimately, they don't have to land every pick-off, but you put the fear of it into Zenith, and then you just split push, and you prep for a Roach in the next 5 to 10 minutes. Linken's is coming soon on Joe, and they can't gank him. Like, with some lineups, if, let's say Zenith has the Puck and the Lifestealer, Joe is not here. There is no way he's here, but there's not much Zenith can do to punish it.
I mean, you just go back to the pick here, and you say, is Zenith somewhat outpicked, if we could say it that, because no answer to Zoe. XY on the zero up top, still farming away, but again, what does this hero actually do? He's going to go for a BKB.
The International 2 defending champions, they've got some life in them yet, and XY, yeah, it's mass BKB for Zenith, but Mass BKB is a combat build. I mean, he could be going for a Sanji Yasha, he could be going for Heaven's Halberd, but let's assume it's a BKB. If they're going for Mass BKB, those are combat items. I don't know if you get to fight IG 5v5 unless they decide they want to.
Yeah.
This is a Fnatic draft, if you can call it that. They can choose the time of the engagement.
Right, and that's a huge deal because IG, if they're losing the early game or mid game, which they are not right now, they could, just avoid fights. If they're not losing it, you just go at the tower. So IG have all the momentum, have all the strategical advantage on their side.
Yeah, the nice thing about getting BKBs is Zenith can farm more safely, so I suppose that is worth pointing out. Even if they go for the Infest Bomb, you can always just pop your BKB and try to get out. Orb flies in mid, I think they were considering a go there, but there's no backup for 430, so just simple harassment for him. Joe's got Lincolns now, so now if you thought you could gank him, it was already a low percentage chance, but if they want to go for a Scythe or something, they're going to have to break this Lincolns first, and actually their only way to do it is the Naga net.
Right.
There's no other single target on Zenith.
To be fair, there are other spells that aren't single target that still goes through the Lincoln, so Pounce is one, Naga Sleep is one, as well as Ice Path, so there are quote-unquote ways to lock him down, but it's not reliable, it's not going to be enough to Zoe, and Zoe now...
And the thing is, they don't do damage, they're not actual stuns. Like, even if you hold him in place, how do you kill him? It's like I'm still at full HP. You're not killing me.
XY right clicks for 79, man.
Okay. In theory, Slark is pretty good against Morphlane, who is all about having mass stats, and you could steal them all. But to do that, you need a lot of farm on the Slark, and right now, we're just not seeing it. The items continue to accrue for IG. YYF, now up to an armlet. And this is just a tempo that IG should be very comfortable in. They've got the Dire side going their way, so Roshan should be open to them. What they do need to do is just get some wards up, farm up the next level of items. Once there's, say, an E-Blade on the Morphlane and an Ethereal Blade for Zhou, I think we'll see them force some more fights.
So you just talked about what IG's farming for, so we see Yamate playing a little bit aggressive on the bot lane.
What is Zenith farming for?
Well, they have a diffuser play, or at least almost one on Naga Siren. I feel like this is one of the, at least mathematically, one of the highest damaging item out there for Naga. Better than Yasha, a lot better than anything else. If you get 3 or 4 illusions focusing on Morphling, for example, he will just melt. But here's the problem. You have Waveform, you have Pucks, you have
Lincolns. You can't lock him in place. I guess the Purge can remove the Lincolns now that he's got it, but that's an expensive thing to use. We'll see. For the time being, it's a smoke from Ice. It says, oh, IG, this might play right into Zenith's hands.
That's really aggressive.
They can dodge fights all day, but they're smoking and they're wrapping around bottom. Do they know? They might be trying to just bait Yamate bottom, thinking IG will reply, but IG are actually going for something much bigger. Roche dropping pretty fast. There's no initiation yet. Waving in is Zhou. Maybe in a slight bit of trouble, but the Lincoln's blocking the net. Now Purge held in position. Ice Patch as well. Even if they lose him, though, Roche is going to fall soon. Back in. It's a Roche for a Morphling. A decent trade for both teams.
Well, is the trade just over yet? I think perhaps Zenith can maybe angle for a team fight, even force out buyback. There is a buyback on Zone, but they're going for it right now. YYF opens up. Here comes 430, dropping a couple of spells. Ice. Gotta focus him down. He gets a song. He's gonna survive with 73 HP.
He lives, and he TPs away too. But now the rest of Zenith, can they all get out? Retreating out as XY, surging through, actually hunting Fate, but lifted up. He got juked, he got outplayed, and he is gonna fall. Make it a 1-for-1 and a Roche going IG's way, and the song down. Give IG a win there.
But Zobot back. So
that's true.
That's pretty expensive for them.
Okay, with the buyback, maybe not.
Maybe pretty even, but...
I'd actually favor Zenith with the buyback, because Morphling is their big damage dealer.
But again, like, sure, that was a lot of action, and it went towards Zenith, but it wasn't nearly big enough of a win, and in fact, IG says, let's reset, let's just not do anything for 10 minutes, and we farm more.
Yeah, Naga Song is... The nice thing for Zenith, though, is the song is such a versatile spell, and it's already level 2. So if Ice hits level 16, they can use that not to set up on Morphling, because I still don't know if they can kill him if he's not waving into their team. But they could definitely set up on these supports. And here we go. On to Faith. There's a replicant here. In comes Zhou. Morphling wants to fight. Faith's already dead. They might need to send Zhou back, and now a back in on all the illusions, all the creeps. Ice coming in, doing work on Chuan. YYF, 1 by 1. They all fall down. No, pops out, pops back in, and now Yowie's caught. Armlet toggling. YYF, how can't they kill him? I just don't know. 4 will fall. Could be 5. Aegis ending soon. I think they can do it again. No, TP's out. Is there a net? No net. He'll get away. Aegis for nada.
Again, we saw in that team fight the Naga Siren mirror image with the help of the Fuso Blade just ripped through everything. You saw Morphling was like, oh, I could tank this. Oh wait, I can't. They just do way too much damage. You gotta focus on these illusions. I mean, even if you have to waste spells on them, they do so much damage that it's just warranted. And now tier 2 is gonna go down. It was an okay fight for IG early on. Now they just lose a huge one. Surge getting stolen here, and perhaps they could angle for a play with that Surge available.
I mean, the big thing for me is that we didn't see anything from 430. He died without dropping Silence or Coil. If they get off Silence and Coil in these fights and they jump some of these Zenith heroes, especially someone like X Freedom who didn't have his BKB, or Ice who still doesn't have one and isn't going to get one, or even XY, they can kill those heroes. But with no 430 initiation, if IG are being initiated upon, I think they're going to lose the fights for now.
Yeah.
They need more items if they want to take those kinds of fights.
We are getting some of those items. Zoe working for that shotgun build. Once you do have the shotgun build, well, who's actually worried about this? XY says, yeah, I'm okay. I got Dark Pack.
There are some targets. I mean, he might not be able to solo kill a player like Ice. Naga's pretty tanky, but with a +1 like the Puck, I think anyone's dead. And the nice thing with Morphling Shotgun, you can send your Replicate around while you continue to farm. So he's much like Spectre in that regard. Your ganks are way more efficient than other carries.
Yeah, actually, I think that's also a very good defensive item against the Fuso Blade. Sure, he could purge it off, but at the same time, he has to purge to slow you in the first place. So that's yet another defensive item, Zoe, and you know.
And you can also use Ethereal, or rather Ghost Form, to remove the Naga net.
Right.
It is a physical disable, so it'll come in handy here if the Lincolns isn't enough.
So let's actually look at what Zenith is farming for. Ryamate's got himself a Desolator. That's going to be some real damage that the team really needs. In fact, we haven't really talked about the minus armor synergy between Riptide as well as Swarm, as well as Desolator. That's going to be a picked up.
Big minus armor, and you look at Morphling. Generally, if you're shotgun build, you're high armor, low HP. So it's a pretty big deal.
Yeah.
For the time being, though, IG sitting near the top tower and defending Joe while he farms towards his Ethereal Blade. Pretty passive play from IG's sort of supports and the Morphling. It's 430 as well as YYF looking to dictate the tempo, but it seems like Zenith aren't going to get caught easily. Gold and Experience still very even. I mean, who do you give the advantage to here, Lumi? It seems like neither team really has control of this game.
I feel like if nothing's actually going on, I favor IG because he's just better at late game hero. Morphling, you know, angling for that shotgun. We have YYF going, well, now inside the Puck looking for a pickoff. He's got a Basher, so I think that's a huge item against Yamate's BKB. These are smart items from IG, and they are better items. Of course, 430 also working for Sight. So I think IG has better lineup for the late game because they have better heroes.
Yeah, of course Zenith have the more annoying heroes for sure, and they've got, I think, some more ways to play this game. They can split push, and they can force 5v5 fights. IG mostly just want to find pickoffs. They don't want to force big engagements, not yet. Once the Morphling and the Lifesteal get their next items, that might be the point where they say, okay, now we can pick you off, now we can fight you 2 or 3v4, but for now, YYF's spending an awful lot of time in 430, and 430's not farming. To be truthful, I think IG could just be going for the next items, but they're really trying to force these pickoffs, and they might walk right into a trap here.
Yeah, I think they have the mentality of, oh, we have a Morphling, he's going to do all the carry, he's going to do all the damage, but
I don't think that. I think it's much more. It needs to be a duel or a tricore.
Yeah,
they need a fat lifestealer as well.
Well, they're gonna walk right in confidently next to Zoe says, yeah, hi guys.
Look for the jump. They do have an Infest Bomb. Here comes 430. Leaps in. They found Ice. Caught. He can't zone. Now he gets it off. He's gonna live. Maybe not. Rage is there. Ice to fall. Song is down. Yamate with the BKB though, going hard on YYF. Infest pops back out soon, but not yet. Now into XY. 2 down. Buyback. But a back. A wall. An amazing AoE combo. And YYF driven back. Armlet toggling like a champ. He has rage. He turns around. He's going on somebody. Who is it gonna be? No, into the trees.
Oh, Ice Path. That barely missed on him.
The fight's not over yet. On the backside, Faith with the stolen Sakuchi trying to jog away. And it looks like IG force out a buyback, kill off 2, and are going to stand strong. The tier 1 still up. Really nice movement from them in that fight.
Yeah, there's just nothing game from Zenith in that kind of poor team fight mid. They can't really do damage to the tier 2 mid either. So another victory for IG, which just means we're not going to see more kills. We're going to see more farm.
Did Ice have his net there? Because I don't think he used it, and he never netted the Lifestealer. Maybe he could have gotten away if he had.
So I think Ice in that particular team fight, he was more focusing on surviving himself. Net that's going to break the Lincolns, and that's going to force him away. He got silenced by Puck, but what he did is he used a Diffusal Blade to purge himself, to bring up that silence. I think he was trying to cast Song or something to get away. He did get the Song off, but the Rage was already up on Lifestealer, and he did the right click.
He's really chewing through these Diffusal Blade charges. Between purging himself to remove silence, brilliant play by the way, in the heat of the moment, and then also wanting to use it to remove Zhou's Lincolns or to purge him after you net him. I mean, he's chewing through him, Lumi. And eventually you might run out. And honestly, they need a 4-staff for something else because the Lincolns otherwise will continue to pose a significant threat.
Of course, he could upgrade to a Diffusal Blade too, and he does eventually want to end up there anyway, so not the exact big deal yet.
It could be an issue, but not for now. I mean, it's more if we look ahead 10 minutes, 15 minutes that it might come.
I mean, Loda ran out per charges today, and he tried to buy a Recipe, so...
Yeah,
I mean, it could get there. Yeah.
We'll have to see. For now, IG content to sit back and farm, leading by 3k gold, leading by 2k experience. The tempo feels like it's their tempo. Zenith, they've gone for mass BKBs. They've got the better team fight lineup, or at least in theory, their lineup's more built around team fight, but they're not really forcing too many. And now the E-Blade's out, and I think we might just see Zhou start hunting for some kills.
It's a slow game right now. 9-9 is the short. It's 29 minutes in. Can I just say that? I just checked my watch. It's like 11:30 at night, and we still have like a full hall.
The hall
at
is
Benaria. Thank you guys for staying with us. This is our last official match of the day. Some of you guys woke up early to came out the hall, and you're still joining us. Thank you for supporting Dota2.
Meanwhile, bottom lane, they're looking to go on Yamate. No, he's got the BKB, they won't engage. IG and Zenith, blow for blow, 9-9, 29 minutes in, very close and tense game. It's an elimination match. The winner is in the money, but for these teams, I think it's much more about the pride and the status and having a shot at winning it all. Here we go, on to 430, backed into an ice pad, now late from latched, and despite a phase shift, can he get out? Needs to blink, can he? No, he can't. Well, even pucks may fall.
So when you have a steady amount of damage on you like that with the Macro Pyre, the only way you could blink out of your face...
Watch out, Lumi. Watch out. Here we go. They need a bash here. They need something. They get it. Boom. YYF slams it home. 10-10. Both teams, these guys are so tightly matched. But watch for the E-Blade. Watch for the shotgun. Ice, ice, ice. He lives by the skin of his teeth. 30 HP. And this is why Morphle starts to get a lot scarier after his second item.
Another thing that he could also do is use those Diffusal Blade charges to purge off the shotgun buff on him. So,
but you've got to be so quick with that because normally with the adaptive strike is very little wind up. Right. Here we go. He's hunting Ice Ice Ice. Just says, "Come back here, man. I ain't done with you yet." He can't find the kill though.
Ice 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 survives with like 20 HP. He's like, "Oh, let's go Ancient, guys."
Who else would do it besides Ice Ice Ice? Mac, got to get that efficiency, as much value as possible. So, overall, I think the tempo is still IG's. Gold is slightly headed their way. And also, having Sakuchi on Faith is just such a boon, because now they can aggressively go for Infest Bombs. Your support can gank while your puck farms for a Slight Device, and it seems like that's how IG are making the adjustments. I think their in-game adjustments are just really solid right now, but you always have to be worried about 5v5ing Zenith. They have Darkseer. Darkseer is amazing against Morphling. Morphling is entirely stats-based, and that illusions are entirely stats-based, so
I mean, we saw a vacuum into a 4-man wall in that team fight, and it looked cool, and you were very excited for that, but where was the follow-up? There is no follow-up on this lineup. I mean, you could drop an Ice Path, and that's it.
It's an item-based follow-up. Like, if this Slark of XY gets a Basher, gets an Abyssal Blade, if Ice 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 farms up a Manta as next item, they have item-based follow-up. What they don't have is ability-based follow-up.
Right. And they need them now, right? If IG says, we want to take a fight at you, which I don't think they will.
They're going in mid, starting with an Ice Pad. Ice, Ice, Ice. He's got a song. He throws the net, but 430 will phase shift, dodge it perfectly, and calmly backs off. Some magician work there.
And guess what? Zoe says nobody not paying attention to be top lane. Gonna take her tier 2.
And he's gonna go for it. There's a glyph here, but there's no reaction from Zenith. The tier 2 top. Morphlin says, give me the gold. And Joe's gonna claim it. Nothing being traded. In fact, they're going in mid. Say hello to the Infest Bomb once again. No purge in time, and he will fall. IG, they're going just, it's punch after punch from them, and Zenith just seem entirely on the back foot.
And they're going straight into Roshan. IG's not saying, hey, we're gonna farm. We're gonna get advantage and now get even more advantage. If you get an Aegis on Zoe, he's gonna go into 1 strength, and a lot of people are gonna die to that shotgun.
And as they get an Aegis, it just enables them to be more aggressive going for pickoffs and also split pushing. Aegis in this game is so big. Already Zenith have so much trouble killing the Morphling. Roche will fall, Zhou picking up the Aegis, and Morphling is getting closer to his next item. 3,300. You give him his next item, and he can solo kill even some of these semi carries if they don't BKB in time.
Yeah, it's not so. I mean, earlier you talked about that. You need like a 2-carry lineup. YYF bringing up the rare and very well. He's got the Basher, he's got the Hyperstone. So we're gonna see Assault carry us up for IG very soon as well. These are the items that you need to win some decisive fights and then break the high ground. IG can't do it now, but eventually they could if, again, the game doesn't change rapidly.
Faith playing around with the courier, the IG courier here. He'll finally pick up his Force Staff, and meanwhile XY pushing the top lane. Interesting choice from YYF though. He could have gotten a full Abyssal Blade, but he's gone for an AC instead. What do you think of that?
I think it's an item that helps him to win the team fight a little bit better. If, for example, there's a Song up, and yeah, he's the only person attacking, Abyssal is going to give him a ton of damage. But when the Song is not really knocking down your whole team, having more armor, having more minus armor on the enemy lineup is also very key. So I think it's a more of a team fight item, especially when he's not expected to do all the team's damage because there's a Morphling on the team. It's a great item choice.
What started as a team fight or a pick-off lineup for IG, what started as a lineup that just wants to gank and is reluctant to take big 5v5 clashes,
Yamate
is now turning in
top lane. Just
Dire's top tower
nice backdoor
is under
tap.
attack.
Okay.
We'll get a tier 1 top.
Dire's
Not the biggest deal
top
for
tower
IG, but a
has
small
fallen.
victory for Zenith for sure. Hanging on for now. But yeah, what started as a team fight or a pick-off line for IG can transition into a team fight lineup now. They've got a BKB up on Joe. The AC's coming soon, and even though they don't have that many heroes that are massive team fight combo heroes, with these items, I think they can go 5v5 against Zenith if they want. And Zenith are going to be hard-pressed to deal with Magic Community. They really struggle against it.
Let's not forget about 430 Scythe of Ice. He's almost got that as well. We're sitting 1 or 200 away from that. He's going to get all these dragons, so...
They just have more ways to play this game. Like, that's the basic way to put it. IG can split push, they can team fight, they can even maybe 5-man. I think Zenith are just pretty much limited to reacting at this point.
Yeah, what are they reacting with? Mantis Tower up on Naga Siren very soon. Jakiro's picking up basic items like Arcane Boots, although he has to go for it, not going to buy it. Freedom needs to make a big play, and he's going to go with the Blink Dagger. I think that this is a very smart item pickup. Gives you the big team fight. He and Freedom, though, Ice have to have perfect coordination.
They're prepping top lane, they're jumping on Joe, but he's already replicated out.
There's no way.
Yeah, they need some sort of lockdown. But again, there's the Lincoln, so they have to remove it and then quickly disable him. They just can't gank the Morphling.
He's got a BKB too, so
yeah. They need a scythe. So basically, they need to purge him or net him, and then scythe him, and then burst him. And if he's managed to morph before he gets scythed, it keeps on going, and he's probably not going to die.
Well,
hard to kill Joe, man.
Unkillable hero, I think.
Morphling definitely a bit weaker in the laning stage than he used to be, but when you get to the mid game, when you get to the late game, he's one of the best split pushing and ganking carries in the business, and we're starting to see him gain a lot of steam. IG grouping up his 5, feeling a little bit of confidence here. The Scythe's up on 430, the Gem as well, marching into Zenith's jungle, and you just look at the positioning, and you have to say Zenith are now firmly on the back foot.
Yeah, I wonder why they're not making a push down for that tier 2 tower list.
They are spotted here, but I just don't feel like Zenith can force a fight.
Right, so my question is, why can't IG force a fight? They're very strong in terms of items and levels. In fact, I think they have way more than the Ice of Zenith. So why aren't they storming down the mid lane and push it?
This is an elimination match. Loser is out of the International 3, and now they'll go. They found the right opening. Now they jump. Blake in from X Freedom, but he's bashed. He can't get off his wall. The song's there, and it looks like a barely live. The creeps are coming in, looking for a net.
Oh, they see
no
ice.
Micro yet. Now they're chasing, though. X Freedom still running. Coil's caught 2. It comes big. Bad Joe. They've dropped 1. They've lost 2. Now they're going to lose 3. Double kill for Joe, and Morphling's out of control. 3 hit the deck, 2 of them cores, and IG are looking at a tier 2 bottom, if not more.
Why can't IG just storm down the mid lane and force a fight? They are so strong right now. They gotta fight in the jungle. They win that just easily. And then we'll take tier 2 and maybe even go back for tier 3.
I don't know if they stop here. Oh, there is a Darkseer wall, so maybe because of that, but Aegis still has a bit of time left. They're going to go for the gusto here. Infest bombs up. There's a blink silence. There's a blink scythe. And Joe is breaching the high ground. Morphling's back, baby. Here comes IG. Zenith, are you ready for this? Let's find out. X Freedom. Blink back wall.
It's all ready. Phase shift dodging, leaping forward. He's caught Yamate. Back. Whoa. Is it enough? XY's low. It's stolen, but what does it do? YYF retreating out. Armlet toggling. He's going to fall. Buyback from the Weaver. IG or rather Zenith defending. Maybe not though. Joe says, give me your racks. He'll claim it. What a play. He's got a replicate. He's able to jump back out. Ice is going to drop. IG completely outmaneuvering Zenith. Absolutely juking their socks off here.
430 is going to make it away. Jump to the other side of the
He's got a blink. He's gone.
Oh,
maybe not.
Oh, yes.
Oh. Now you see me? Now you don't.
Man. Well, IG claims that one racks and the game suddenly gets very difficult for Zenith. Sure, they could defend against it because you have Naga Siren, you have Darkseer, you have great ability to defend against big creeps, but you just are never going to push out your base now.
When you're playing against, when you're a team fight lineup, you do not want to be playing from behind against the split push lineup. Because in order to force those team fights, you've got to get the creep equilibrium such that you can leave your base. If the creeps are constantly on your side of the map, then when you leave your base to go 5-man, they just can backdoor you, they can push in the other lanes. This is the worst possible kind of lineup to be in this position.
Well, Zoe's got 5.2k go. I think what IG's going to do is angle for the next Roshan fight, get the Aegis there, and then, you know...
They'll do it again.
Right. But here's the thing, though. Roshan fight is where Naga Siren is queen, so I think Zenith farms for 2-3... Oh, shotgun!
Boom! Shakalaka from Joe. Another kill going his way.
Well,
and it's... What can Zenith do?
I was about to say they need to farm till Roshan happens, but you can't farm against Zoe, apparently.
Yeah, I mean, IG, I don't know that they actually go for high ground off of this. They'll just keep the bot top lane pushed in. Joe's a replicate up. If they go on him, he'll simply replicate out. And Zenith, I mean, they're going to be at a point where if they try to contest Roche, then they're giving up tier 2s, maybe even a tier 3. And that's a bitter pill to swallow for a small chance at winning a fight. Because right now, even if they go to Roche, I don't know if they win that fight.
These illusions are still very threatening. He sends them on Zoe, and Zoe, despite having all the item that he does, forces a waveform away. So
I mean, remember he's got BKB.
Yeah.
If he chooses to pop it, you don't get mana burn, and Morphling really needs mana.
Middle tower is under attack.
Tier 2, basically free.
And now 40 minutes in, nearly IG, one tower closer to moving on, one tower closer to a top 8 finish. Zenith cleaning on, hanging on for their dear lives, but the next Roche probably will decide it all. They're farming the enemy ancients. They'll soon have an Abyssal and YYF. It feels like IG is about to reach critical mass. The courier flying in, and a completed Eye of Scotty, one of the scariest Morphling items in the game. That's going to be 50 additional stats for him, so he can morph however he pleases. You can't morph the item stats, but you have more flexibility here. And now, Roshan's coming soon.
He's sitting at 2,000 HP nearly with 1 strength, and his shotgun obviously is...
Yeah, you can't actually morph the stats you get from items, but it means you can go full agility.
Right.
By the way, I've heard you never should go full agility.
You do go full agility. Look at Zoe.
Yeah. Joe's showing us that that may be a false rule, and here he goes, pushing in the middle lane. Thing is, if he gets a Satanic, even Helm the Dominator, I feel like there's nothing. There's no basher yet. Even now on XY, there's just no, they can't kill him. Like, Joe can just sit there, I think, unless all 5 are hitting him, he's by himself, and he can just lifesteal back every bit of damage they're putting on him. And if he gets Satanic, good luck.
Well, Zenith says it's time to smoke up, bro. Sean's back very soon if we could win a decisive team fight. They're drawing line to YYF. I think he's the easier hero to kill.
Yeah, Zenith know if IG get this next Roche, that's probably game. And they're trying to prevent it. YYF, though, not the easiest here to kill. He can infest. We'll have to see. If that net's used too early, he comes right into 5. Well, maybe it's easier now. No TP out. He knows there's a net available. It's thrown early. Will he TP? He's going to go for it. No, not in time.
Great pick. Great pick. But look at the bot lane.
Yeah, again, you have to get more. Against this kind of lineup, if Yufta goes 4 or 5 to kill 1, then the others just push. It's similar to Nature's Prophet and Anti-Mage kind of combo.
Thinking about shotgun.
Here we go. He forced out a BKB. That's a pretty big deal.
Blink and BKB, nice.
Yeah. Man, was he scared or what?
It's like, oh my god, I'm in trouble. Let's press every button.
I've never done that before. I do that every game. Here comes Zenith, pushing at the top lane. For now, IG, Roshan number 2. That's the objective. Roche should be open to them, and Joe will send a replicate towards the pit while his hero pushes out the top lane. IG not going for it just yet. It looks like they want to do a little bit of additional warding. There's actually a gem on 430, so they know Zenith are playing in the dark. if you're Zenith and you give up this Aegis, I'm pretty sure they're just going to lose from there. I think they forced into contesting it. But contesting is hard against Morphling because he can have Replicate near the pit and his hero pushing out. For now, the Replicate scouting the Ancients, now heading down towards the Roche. And here we go. IG, I think just one Roche away from taking this game. No contest from Zenith yet. In fact, they're just going to give it up. IG are actually scared though. They're backing off.
Yeah, they have to respect the Naga Siren. They don't really know where she is right now. And of course, if you bring it low and they saw and they walk in, take the Aegis, that could be pretty annoying.
Look at Zhou. Just look at that. Massive damage from Zhou. He does get bashed immediately, but Roche has slowed attack speed. In comes Zenith. Ice, Ice, Ice. Song's online. He'll clear off some creeps, but IG know he's coming. It's too late. Roche has fallen, and now IG looking to engage. A blink in the song. There's an immediate BKB from XY in the river. There's a Chen Hand of God, and IG continue to get chased. They've got a coil leaping forward. Scythe on ice. Where's the follow-up? Faith barreling down the middle lane. Coil just done one, but they have caught the Jakiro. Blinking forward. Magic from 430. Now onto Yamate. BKB's out. He manages the time-lapse back, but one bash and he's dead. And there's your bash. Oh, good. He's in trouble. One more slap, and Zhou is going to bring him down. And this Lumi, there's no buyback on that Weaver. This could be game. IG, though, they have to deal with the Darkseer wall, and they have to respect it. Probably a slow siege is coming from them.
Well, they're going to bring up the creep wave. Very smart decision to push up top. The creep wave is closer. It's also the further lane away from bot. So if they want to defend bot and top, you got to have a further traveling distance from Zenith. So IGZO walking up the... I mean, this tower is going to just melt. Look at this Morphling.
Yeah, this Morphling just has outrageous damage right now. He's hitting for nearly, in fact, over 300 a pop. Here's your song. Ice, Ice, Ice. What's he prepping for?
He shoots a lane for 7 seconds.
Well, he's got the song cooling down in 50 seconds, but the tier 2's fallen, and there's no reply from Zenith. They got to come soon. X-Freedom looking to leap. There's a nice pad that's off the mark. The back catches one. Not a good back. Well deployed. It's decent, but it's Zenith on the back foot. Driven out of their base. Now they pull in ice. This is going to be more destruction, annihilation from IG. Absolutely slaughtering Zenith. 4 dead, and 44 minutes in, it looks like the defending champs are staying alive and will move into the top 8.
No GG just yet here from Zenith. They want to have one more team fight.
There's no glyph. This is mega creeps. It's game. There's just no way back for Zenith. And the GG comes, Ice calls it, and Team Zenith, the fan favorite, are going home. Invictus Gaming, stay alive, and will live to fight another day. That day is tomorrow, from what I hear.
The credit goes to Zenith, put up a great fight against a defending champion. Fell a little bit too short, but creative picks just did not pan out well this time.
And they're still alive. Yeah. This crowd, unbelievable. Team Zenith, in the end, knocked out. IG moving on.